Hi everyone, it's John Galante, president of AE Ventures, here with one of our BI Closer Looks. Today we're going to have a conversation with Barrett Davis, who is the founder of NterNow, a bit of a serial entrepreneur as well. Let's just start with some of the basics. How long has NterNow been around?
Yeah, we were founded in 2017, and we've been around for 6-7 years now, and we're growing like a weed. And our category of self-guided tours is expanding from home building into the other verticals in the rental space. And
Talk to me about the product. So it's a software solution. Is there hardware involved? Speak to me about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So self-guided tours and our NterNow, our platform, is a sales and marketing tool. It is a software platform, but we integrate with smart home hardware, mainly smart locks and other types of alarm systems, to allow a home shopper to get a one-time use code to go into the home, so that way they can tour independently without sales pressure. And our platform doesn't replace salespeople. It's a velocity, increasing for them. It's a tool that can help them definitely net more sales. So.
Yeah, and talk about the kind of upstream feeds to the digital marketing stacks that the builders have.
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
Integrations.
So, NterNow and self-guided tours is primarily deployed in the physical world. There's a door lock, there's yard signs, but more and more builders are investing in their digital marketing tools, and the listing services are starting to notice. So NterNow integrates with Realtor.com and other services where you can directly schedule a self-guided tour directly from the listing services. Also on a home builder's website now, you're able to schedule and tour in advance. You're able to go into some of the digital marketing tools that they invest in, like site maps, floor plans, different virtual tour centers, sales models that they have to be able to schedule a tour online and go in person.
And your data then gets attached to all of this other customer journey sort of data, right? And can be configured into analytics and reports, action-oriented reports. Does it feed CRMs as well for online sales counselors?
Yeah, great question. So somebody's journey might start online and then they use NterNow in person. And the main idea is to capture that customer information, their first name, last name, street address, phone number, email, and then we sync it right to their CRM, custom CRM. And then we also put it into the other tools that they invest in, like Novi Home or some of the other Atlas RTX, some of the other chatbot type services that the sales team can leverage, especially if somebody's touring after hours. They don't have a salesperson to follow up with them directly, and it can go into some of their automated tools.
Yeah, you got any hero customers who are really using that kind of digital marketing integration opportunity and really making hay with it? You don't have to name names. Maybe you could just describe what they're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Several of our customers are starting to shift how they build into the end of 2024 into 2025. Some of them are building less models, more heavy spec, and they're centralizing some of their sales teams. And so by leveraging self-guided tours and NterNow, coupled with these types of automated sales systems and marketing systems, they're able to do more with less at a more efficient scale, especially as the pace that they're building and the breadth that they're building without staffing up their teams.
So this is model homes, but it's also for sale homes, and it's also for rent, right?
Absolutely.
Like percentage-wise in your business, I mean, how in the doors that you're serving, what percentage are for sale, single family? What percentage are models? What percentage are the for rent?
Yeah, great question. We're about probably 75% for sale to for rent. Our for rent is growing exponentially. There's a significant amount of our regional or larger builders that are developing rental portfolios. And then from a model perspective, probably about 20% of our homes under management are models. And that's just traditionally for our business specifically, is that we work with some very high volume spec heavy builders that kind of weight that one against some of the regional.
Talk about hardware integrations beyond the keypad.
Oh yeah, absolutely. One of our favorite experiences for the wow factor for a home buyer going in on their own, touring on demand, is that they can go into a model home that's enabled with Alarm.com, and it can trigger It can disarm the alarm. It can turn on the lights. It can turn on the air. It can actually cool down the house before they actually tour, so they sort of waltz into this great environment. It can kick off sound with Sonos. It can have deployed scripts with talking with Alexa and things like that as they walk through the home. So the integrated self-guided tour journey is really starting to expand.
Really? So you got some folks that are doing that sort of stuff now. We're not just talking with them about it, they're doing it?
Yeah, some people are, I would say they're experimenting.
Yeah.
Mostly because they, experimentation's good. They're pushing on the boundaries. Some home shoppers don't want Alexa to be conversing with them.
Yeah.
And so, people are pushing on us to enhance our capabilities so that maybe from a self-guided tour perspective, we can determine the buyer's persona or whatnot even before and try to do some personal configuration.
They probably don't want Alexa there because they'll think she's listening, right?
Yeah,
and they want to have a private tour. That's part of the reason why they did that, right?
Yeah.
But
there's
the other functionality doesn't require Alexa. It doesn't, there's. You and I have talked about this, right? And
there's some chatty buyers out there that'll definitely quiz Alexa as well.
I like to have my banter with Alexa. Okay. Sometimes I cuss at her. I'll be honest.
Yep.
But I don't know that that's the application. But you and I have just like the metaphor or the analogy is really the luxury hotel or even just good hotel where you arrive at your room and the television's on or the guest channel is up, the lights are on, the HVAC is going, and sometimes music as well.
Yeah.
And you feel welcome. You feel like you're not in a haunted house, right? Like you're already full of fear because you're in some foreign neighborhood, right?
Yeah.
So then you're going to key into a dark house with no air and no lights on. It doesn't make any sense, right? We should be doing some of these basic automations just to show the house better.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
like I'm eager for you to have enough of a sample size on that stuff, A/B testing.
Yeah.
This how well does the self-guided smart home do? I'm talking about modestly automated versus the haunted house.
Yeah.
Self-guided haunted house.
We definitely see a lot of builders at all levels, small, medium, and large, starting to look at their spec homes to make them more productive, whether, instead of just a vacant experience that somebody's walking into, there's nothing there, the lights are off, why not have the alarm systems on and things like this, having, instead of that being an option, being default, especially in like 3 or 4 of their floor plans in a few communities. That way somebody's journey can start on the spec side, then end up back in the model as a traditional, where they want the person to come directly into the model and then into the vacant home.
And have the TV,
gotta meet the buyer where
have the TV with a sound bar playing the community video.
Yeah.
Right? Why wouldn't you do that?
Yeah, there's definitely some people experimenting with sort of kiosks and, that they traditionally invest in models now into their specs, these self-guided tour type of experiences. So more of an immersive way of interacting with kiosks and sound and immersive experiences.
So you and I have talked, I think, a little bit about this, but like there's self-guided, but there's also when there is a sales associate of some sort involved, going back to these hardware automations, is there a way for them to set the house into active mode, boot it up more easily, like more of a remote or push button boot up the house sort of thing. So that's all done with more ease, even if they're there touring with the buyer.
Yeah, one sort of like duality function that we have in our platform is called sort of like open house mode or a staff model, where somebody may not want self-guided tours on for 2 hours during their open house, but they still want the house secure. They want all the smart features and things like that. NterNow, with the deep integrations we have with all of our partners in the smart home space, we're able to sort of craft this sort of blended experience for a staff person where they're not deterred by the security settings on. They can waltz customers in and out. But when they leave for the day at 2, when they're done with their open house, everything just swaps back to fully secure, the monitoring's on, the motion sensing's off, just,
I love that. Make things easier for them. For the sales manager, make sure these things that make a difference get done.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because even best intentions, sometimes they don't get done, right?
Yeah, also, one thing that self-guided tours is pretty good at is we definitely have sort of like a checklist or a guided walkthrough or some instructions for them to enjoy some of the things that they've invested in the home, whether it's the sales kiosks or sound or the premium lighting that they've put in.
Yep.
The sales team might not be focused on those features at all.
Right.
But my platform, if somebody's scheduling to tour in advance, we give them a little bit of some insights into what they might experience in the house.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
they can kind of pick that up.
So what's it like to work with NterNow on this for a builder? Let's just say a regional builder that's doing a couple hundred homes. I mean, what's your typical MO for beginning to collaborate with someone like that?
Great question. So our little startup, we're built for speed and scale. So we move quickly. If you sign up, you want to start, we start shipping and getting ready within 24 to 48 hours. So we can get you ready within the week. We have a lot of home builders that start with sort of the low-hanging fruit, as they call it, which is some of their backlog specs, maybe a closeout community, something where self-guided tours and NterNow is net positive. You don't have anybody there where you keep the doors open, you're always on, you're always selling. That's a great way to get started with our program. And then as soon as we bring some sales in the doors, it starts to roll out to the new communities and supplement the sales team.
What kind of consultation is there? So somebody wants to do it. How do they design what the feature set's going to be?
Great
how
question.
Many meetings? How much time is spent on that? Because there's always whatever the cost is for your platform. And I'm sure it's reasonable, but there's always the time.
It is. We undercharge.
So do we. We're in the same boat.
Okay, perfect.
But the time factor is almost as big, sometimes bigger. Than the expense. So what kind of time does it take to plan stuff like this?
Yeah, great question. So our sales process is really simple and transparent. So all of our pricing is just available as soon as you come for a 30-minute demo. We can actually stitch together what type of smart home products that you might have today in your models or your spec homes or your future plans. And then if you might not have anything or you want an aspiration where you want your smart home feature to be, we can reach out to our partners to help get you the best pricing, whether it's smart locks, alarm.com, cellular, internet features, anything we need to enable self-guided tours. So these days we run into a majority of builders that already have invested in the technology. We're just making their investments, their asset more productive with self-guided tours. So traditionally a lot of the sales that come to us, they actually have all the hardware. And so they just have to enable our software in the background to get started.
Cool. What else should we know? What about the future? Is there an evolution to this? I don't know where the roadmap goes on something like this.
Yeah, absolutely. So self-guided tours is turning into sort of a brain or an operating system to start to hook into other, whether they're online on your website or in person. Our platform is really becoming to help an integrated hub to help sort of kick off these different experiences, to channel them into the physical world, how to get them from the website into your homes. And then once they're into your homes, how do we get them back to your digital experiences? Or if they do buy the home, how can we help them digitally close? So, if they're building on the fringe of society, 3 hours away from the closing attorney's office, you bought your house online, our platform can help you move in. You can go get the keys at a later time. You can already move in, you can get into your house, you're a homeowner now. You can go get the keys at the closing table later. You don't have this big step to do and stuff like that. So there's some builders sort of pushing the edge on digital closing now.
Very cool. And so you have this in your blood, what you're doing right now, right?
Absolutely.
What did your mom do?
Yeah, absolutely. So when we started NterNow, me and my mom are co-founders. We've been successful, and she's been able to retire. That's been a proud moment as a son, and we've exponentially grown since then.
But she was in this space,
so
right?
she was
before
a
the digital era,
yeah,
right?
absolutely. So she was a power broker in Atlanta, and her biggest thing that she needed, which sort of birthed NterNow and self-guided tours, was that she needed time back. Traveling to properties 45 minutes away to, just to let somebody in, they may or may not buy. She wanted to get her time back. And so she kept nudging me over the years and like, hey, how do we build a keyless system to let people in and track them and make sure they're verified? And I just want to sit in my office and let people go in and capture their information. That's really what birthed our platform.
Very cool. Well, thanks so much for spending some time with us.
Absolutely.
And we appreciate you being part of our community. I hope builders out there who need some help moving their for sale inventory or even buffing up their model home experiences take some time to visit with Barrett and his team and consider his solution. That's
Absolutely.
it
Thanks for
for
your
a
time.
closer look. Thanks.